Let's do this.
Yeah, here's a paper for you.
Hi everyone, so today in this video I'm going to do something a little bit slightly different. Normally, I try to keep my content and my life in general, it is my motto, to be nothing but rainbow, and I try to just like talk about things that are like more upbeat and happy and fun and things like that. But, you know, sometimes, you know, things aren't always, you know, nothing but rainbow, and as the saying goes, sometimes you need a little rain to have a rainbow or whatever. So today in this video I'm going to talk about an experience I had a couple of months ago, and I know it's taken me a long time to make this video, but even after like nearly 2 months, I feel like it's still something that is important for me to share and talk about. So this, as the title of the video is called, this is the story and the reason why I pulled my daughter out of her school early. I just pulled her out right away. And a little bit of background about the school. I found this school and I fell in love with it when I took the tour. The director at the time was the owner founder, and she had founded this school nearly like 20 years ago, and she has been running it by herself ever since. And it's just like an amazing school. And on the tour, if you could tell by, you know, her energy and just like, you know, visiting all the different classrooms and seeing like kind of what was going on, you could tell by the vibe that, or I could tell that this was the school for, you know, that I wanted my child to go to. And one of the things that I really liked about it, maybe, you know, I am kind of like personally academically based, like those are the kind of schools that I'm attracted to. If I'm going to send my daughter to a school, I want her to be like learning, you know, like constantly learning things in kind of like a guided, directed way, so essentially not Montessori way. And they definitely did that, and, you know, she had goals, and, you know, I am a former educator, so, you know, having objectives is always very important when you have a program. So she had, you know, like in her orientation, she was saying that, you know, by the time your kid is, you know, XYZ age, you know, he or she will be able to write her name, or by the time she's XYZ age or grade, you know, he or she will be able to like do simple math or count to like a certain number, or, you know, at a certain, you know, particular age, he or she will be able to look you in the eye and say hello and, you know, say, hi, my name is blah blah blah. And those were things that, you know, that I value. So we shared the same values, and I think those are the important things when you look for a school, that you share the same values and things like that. So anyway, So, okay, sorry about that interruption. I had to get her some food. So I don't remember totally where I left off, but basically I was saying, I think that's how you should choose a school. You should believe in the school's philosophies and agree with their teaching method and style and things like that. So I was really excited about this school. I put my name on the wait list because where I live, yeah, there's always a wait list, and I waited a whole year to get off the wait list. A year later, after I put my name on the wait list, a spot opened and I immediately grabbed it. And so we had been there for 2 years, like almost 2 years, and we had never any problem, and it was a great school. My daughter learned a ton, and the teachers were really caring. The director was like always on top of things. And what was cool about the school is they always have, which is not offered in all schools, or preschools. These are preschools, like, or, you know, early childhood schools. And I call it school. I don't call it daycare, because they actually learn things. You know, they have like sections. They have, you know, every month or whatever, they might have a theme, or every week they'll have a theme, and then they'll like build up the whole like classroom wall of the things that they're learning, and then they'll tear it down, and then they'll like rebuild the whole thing. So to me, in my opinion, it was a school, even though she started when she was about 2 years old, 2.5 maybe, or maybe it was 3 years old, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 2 years old. Never any problem. So what I was saying was that the school is really cool in that they have a lot of different events that are very like family oriented, family engaged. So at the beginning of the school year, they have like a picnic, and then all the families get to go to the park, and they have like cake and face painting and singing and dancing and story time and all this stuff. And every like major holiday, like trick-or-treating, they would like trick-or-treat around the block around the school. Like the teachers would get dressed up at like the four corners, and they would give out candy. During like the Christmas, Hanukkah season, they had Santa and I don't know what it was. Santa and the other character from Hanukkah come, and they did a little performance, like a sing-song performance, and they gave out presents. Like the parents got the presents, and then they would give the presents, and then like Santa or whoever would give the presents to the child. They had something for St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and I think an end of the year performance, or end of the year
Mama,
like graduation for at least the preschoolers.
Mama,
Yeah.
you said Valentine's Day, Christmas, and
Yes, I did.
Mama,
Yeah.
I like when.
Okay, sorry about that. So point is that I had a very good experience. Never any problems. Always on par with the program director. And then I found out earlier this year, well, not even earlier this year, but mid-year around April, that the school actually got bought out by a large corporation. It got bought out by Bright Horizons. And, I didn't think too much of it. Like I actually considered Bright Horizons, and I actually put my name on the wait list for Bright Horizons, but this small independent school was my choice over Bright Horizons. And so the transition was going to happen very quickly. It happened in the beginning of June. And so the program director, owner, founder, who had been there for like nearly 20 years or past 20 years, was leaving, and then Bright Horizons was taking over. They were going to still keep the name of the school, but it was going to be, name of school, and then operated by Bright Horizons. So again, like I said, I didn't have any opinion about it one way or the other. I wasn't upset about the takeover. But I felt like the transition didn't happen very smoothly. I noticed since the beginning of June, since the transition, teachers were coming in and out. We weren't, as parents, I didn't feel like we were being really informed about these changes. Students were exiting the class. They were bringing new students in. We weren't informed about that. And, every time I picked up, I always ask her, like the first question I ask her, oh, who'd you play with? That would be my question. And at least once a week, her response in the beginning of, starting June was, I didn't play with anybody. So I guess I should have, picked up on that. And I did pick up on that. I didn't like that response. But, retrospectively is when I realized maybe, things weren't going so well. So the point, so what actually really happened, so the situation that really put me over the edge, that actually made me take her out immediately, like pretty much like no notice. Not pretty much, like no notice, there was a Father's Day event in June. And it happened on the Friday before Father's Day. And the previous year, I didn't take her. I didn't take her. But this year, I did. It was going to be kind of like the last performance I was going to see her in. And so they had a sign-up sheet outside their classroom door, and I signed up too. And it was going to be me, and I was going to take my dad. And the new assistant director actually said, talked to my dad and said, oh, you should come to the Father's Day event. So he was kind of eager to go, and I thought it would be nice for him to see Nanae perform, and I would have liked to also see Nanae perform as well, kind of like the last hurrah, because we were actually going to leave the end of June anyway. So we went, and we were so excited. Nanae was very excited. We even did like a little Instagram video, which I will try to insert if I can find it, about going to this Father's Day brunch.
I'm going to Father's Day brunch.
Oh, you're going to the Father's Day brunch?
Yeah.
With Grandpa?
Yeah, and Mama.
Oh, are you excited?
Yeah.
What are you going to do there?
I'm going to play.
And if you don't know my videos, I am a single mom. I am a single parent. And I haven't quite totally figured out how I'm going to approach this single parent topic when the time comes. When she asks, like, oh, where's my dad, or whatever. But the things that I try to instill in her is that we are family. We act as a team, and she has a grandmother and a grandfather who love her dearly, and who are, a grandmother especially, who is an active part of her life on a daily basis. And not everybody has grandparents, whatever. So like that is another video. But so we went to this event, and I got there a little bit early because knowing how the Mother's Day event was, the parking lot filled up really quickly. The room filled up very quickly, and or I don't know about quickly, but it filled up and maxed out. So I went there early, and it's in this like multi-purpose room, and they have like just like tables, and basically they just like kind of like serve food or whatever, and then the children do their performances by class, and all the walls are decorated per class. Like each class has like a little section where they did a little project for that day. And so I went there a little bit early, and knowing me, like I was just like taking pictures of the artwork that they did on that decorated the room. And then I saw the new program director approach me, and it was just like me and this other dad that was early like kind of in the room, and she approached me, and I was like, okay, like I have never really talked to her, and she's like saying she's going around, probably going to do welcomes and saying hello to parents and things like that. That was not the case, and it was like the way she approached me was in anger, and I think the first thing that she said was like, I don't know if it was, what are you doing here? But her, what she was saying, like pretty much like immediately attacking, was like, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. It's not fair. And not only did she say that, she said that multiple times. She kept repeating herself. She said, you shouldn't be here. This is for dads only. That's what she said. And I said, well, I'm her dad today. And she's like, no. Did you go to the Mother's Day event? Like, you had Mother's Day, and that was, and that's it. You had Mother's Day. It's not fair for you to be here. You shouldn't be here, over and over and over again. You should have asked to come. And I told her I didn't even think to ask. Like, at the Mother's Day event, if I see like two male parents, like a gay couple going to the Mother's Day event, it doesn't even occur for me to ask to go to the Father's Day event as a single parent. And she just kept saying, like, it's not fair, you shouldn't be here, and things like that. It was attack. And it was especially attacked that, you know, she kept repeating herself, and she's like, you should have asked. And I was like, look, ma'am, I didn't even think to ask. How could I hear what you're saying, that I should have asked, but I didn't even think to ask. So you keep reprimanding me for saying that I should have asked, but I didn't even think to ask. So, like, you know, and she should have seen the bulletin board. I said 2, and I had been there for like nearly 2 years. I mean, they should know that I am a single parent. They know, the teachers know that I'm a single parent. Like if they had any questions, and on the sign it didn't say no moms allowed, no women allowed, or anything like that. I didn't get any memo that said no women are allowed. Now I just want to say, like, up front, that I don't claim to be a man, and I said this on Twitter and things like that after it happened, and I've never been kind of like the type that was like, you know, like us, you know, like, you know, single moms and all this stuff or whatever. But because I don't necessarily think of myself that way, only in like situations that come up like this. So I don't claim to be a man, and I am not claiming to be a man whatsoever. I don't try to be a man. I am not a man. But when it comes to the role of a father, as a single parent, I feel like I can argue that I fill the role of being a father. So I don't see why it would be a problem for me to be there. And you know, imagine, you know, as a single parent, if your child has to go to, you know, like a Father's Day event, or, you know, if they only have like a single mom, or a Mother's Day event if they have only a single dad as a parent, that they are the only ones who don't have a parent there, because, you know, after they sing and do their performance, you know, they have a gift they have the gift for the parent, and they give, you know, the parents like go and give them a hug, and, you know, they exchange the gift and things like that. So I would think that it would be significantly unfair to, you know, not let the single parent go. Like, it completely blew my mind. And it's not like I even live in a rural area, not that that would give an excuse, but I don't even live in a rural area. I live in a very like urban, suburban area that's very progressive, and for her to even say like I should have even asked is that it wasn't fair for me to be there, that I shouldn't be there, and all these things was completely crazy. And you know, the Father's Day event was different than the Mother's Day event. It didn't fill up completely. So if it was a seating issue, sorry, my memory card died. So if it was, you know, as I was saying, if it was a seating issue, like a space issue, that was not a problem at this Father's Day event in comparison to the Mother's Day event. If it was a food issue, there were plenty of leftovers, and there was just no notification. I ended up staying. I was shocked. I was saddened by the whole thing, because we had loved the school. This was a horrible way to end being at the school. I was infuriated, and yeah, and there was, like as I mentioned earlier, there was a dad who was in the same room, and he, you know, after she left, he looked at me and he was like he was blown away just as much as I was blown away by her treatment. So actually what I did was I went up to her teacher's classroom, or I went up to the classroom with the teacher, and I walked into the classroom, and the teacher knew something was wrong from the look on my face, and she like immediately kind of like came up to me, and she was like, what's wrong, like what happened? And I was like, I explained the situation that happened, and then she's like, no, like she is totally wrong, you have every right to be here. And I was like, I didn't know what to do, like I was like, should I leave? Like, is she didn't, you know, because the director didn't explicitly say you should, you know, she said you shouldn't be here, but she didn't say leave, like leave now or anything like that. So I was like, should I leave? Like what? I don't know what's going on. And she's like, no, don't leave, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't leave, and I stayed, but as I was saying, you know, I was like hovered over.
Mama, I forgot to make pancakes today.
Oh, so I stayed, but I was trying to like crouch down and like hover or whatever, in case any, I don't know. I was dumb. Like I should have. Like what I wanted to do, like I should have shared with the fathers in the room. If I could do it again, I would have shared with the fathers in the room how this woman had treated me. What I did do after was I sent an email to. Actually, what I did after was I basically took all her stuff and we left and we never went back. But I did later send an email to the parents of her class, because we didn't get to say any like formal goodbyes to her friends and things like that. Kind of, but also like letting them know like just what happened. So yeah, so that's essentially what happened. Follow up. So that happened in the morning, and then I called the regional manager of Bright Horizons for the school. I let her know what that happened, and what she told me, she reassured me that that was not their policy, not even that, you know, Bright Horizons policy had been implemented at that point yet, but she said that's not their policy, and she, you know, the regional manager acted as if she said that she would be just as upset as I was. She acknowledged that, and she said that she would talk to the executive director and asked me if it was okay if the executive director called me, program director, whatever. And I said, I guess, but as long as she doesn't treat me that way, she can do that. And I remember me and Nene were in the supermarket when I was speaking to the regional manager, and then she's, you know, after we got off the phone, you know, Nene was asking, oh, who was that, blah, blah, and Nene kind of knew that I was upset too, so she, you know, I explained it to her, you know, like I try to be like as honest with her as I can and teach her things, you know, about the real world and things like that, and I told her in, you know, a toddler kind of a level that, you know, teacher XYZ, program director, didn't treat Mama nicely, and she didn't want Mama to be there at the Father's Day brunch. And then Nene was like, had a look on her face, and she's sitting in the cart. She had a look on her face, and she was like, but I wanted you to be there, and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I was so excited, and we got, you know, like, and all this stuff or whatever. And I was like, yeah, and that's why, you know, that, I explained to her that's why I was talking to this other woman and things like that. So the other woman called me later in, like, around 5 or 6 at the end of the day, saying that she wasn't able to contact or get a hold of the program director, and that she would call on Monday. And I said, you know, fine. And then Monday came, and I never got a call, and I hadn't gotten a call ever since. So that's how Bright Horizons and the program director and all of them dealt with that situation. And maybe it's because they knew that I already pulled her out, and maybe it's because I was going to leave anyway at the end of June. Maybe, you know, like, their income on my portion of their income was not going to come in for much longer anyway. Maybe they just didn't care to pursue it. So that is the story. That is what happened, and I'm not as upset, but I am still upset about that happening. It's just so unfortunate. We love that school, and not sure at this point how I feel about Bright Horizons. If, you know, I have another one on the way, if faced with the, having to put my baby to come in a school will I consider Bright Horizons. Probably not. This is the thing I don't like about corporate like preschools, I guess. I don't know. What I really liked about that, like as I was saying in the beginning of the video, like what I really liked about this independent school, this, she has so much passion, because, this school was her baby, and with corporations, it's not that same passion, I don't feel. And I know it depends on, they call it centers or whatever. It depends on like which particular location you are going to, and the teachers and the regional manager and all those teams that make up that particular location. But anyway, so Nonoya is going to a new school starting actually in a couple of weeks, and I'm very excited about it. And it is also a independent school run by the owner-founder, and I am very excited to start fresh and kind of put this behind me. But even though I'm putting this behind me, it will always kind of stay with me a little bit. I'm now cognizant of I'm cognizant, but probably not even going to be prepared if this happens again, because I don't think you can prepare for this. We live in 2015, so many things in our... So my memory card died, so I don't know where it cut off, but I was saying hopefully this doesn't happen again. I don't think, this will always stay with me, but like hopefully I'll be more prepared next time, but I don't think I will be prepared necessarily like 100%. This is just so unexpected, as I was saying. Oh, this is what I was saying, like we live in 2015. So many things are changing. There's so many different kinds of families out there. There's so many different kinds of couples, so many different kinds of people out there that, the world should be, more attuned to, more accepting and more accepting and so that is my story. That is why I took my daughter out early. And I hope this doesn't become an issue later, and I am now more, unfortunately, more attuned to being a single parent, and the kind of like prejudice or bias that can come with it. Yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you so much for listening. If you got this far, sorry this video was so long. Please leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, and please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. More uplifting, funner videos to come. So I will see you all later. Have an awesome day.